Imagine if you could replace your OpenClaw by texting Claude code from anywhere in the world and have it run your business while you sleep. Most people are still chained to their laptop running Claude code like an expensive autocomplete, missing the fact that the same tool can live on a cheap VPS and take orders from your phone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to put Claude code on a cheap VPS, wire it up to a free Telegram bot, and let it run competitor search, draft your content, and ping you the results. So you can step away from your desk, run your business from your phone, and hand the boring work off to your machine, even if you've never used a VPS before. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Jimmy Barkway. I run a profitable AI startup. So if you haven't already, grab yourself a fresh cup of tea and let's dive straight in. Now, this has been all over the news lately. Anthropic stopped allowing OpenClaw users to use a Claude subscription, which means everybody has to use an API key now, which means costs are going to go way, way up. Not only this, but after a recent update with OpenClaw, my cron jobs have stopped working completely across the board, and I find myself doing more maintenance with OpenClaw than getting actual work done. So I decided to spend a weekend getting everything transferred over to Claude Code and figuring out how to run it 24/7 as my personal AI assistant. Normally, Claude Code dies when you close your laptop. It is stuck behind your terminal or your Claude Code desktop app. It can't run any scheduled jobs. It's stuck within your file system, and it doesn't connect you with your team. So today I'll show you how to make Claude Code portable so it's running for you always and acting as your personal AI assistant. You can set it up on a super cheap VPS, $5 a month, and I'll show you some secret commands that you can run to ensure that it's staying on all the time, even if the VPS restarts, even if Claude Code restarts, if there's any crashes, anything of that nature, we can get it spinning up again in seconds. Then we'll connect this to a free Telegram bot using the bot father. Dead simple, I'll walk you through this. And we'll also look at setting up the Zapier SDK. More on that in a bit, but this is basically giving Claude Code access to 9,000 different APIs without flooding your context window and costing you a ton of money. We're going to set up its personality just like we would through OpenClaw. It's going to have a soul like OpenClaw did. We're going to get it to build out tools, except this time it's got Claude Code built in from the start. And we can also set up loops, which is a replacement for cron jobs within OpenClaw, so that you can run things on a scheduled basis. Now, I've put together this Notion guide, which walks through everything we're going to run through today step by step, every terminal command, every prompt, every bit of setup that we are going through today is all in here. And you can get this by coming into the community, first link down below, and I'll take you to here. You just want to come into the classroom, come to AI Vault, the first link right here, Claude Code from your phone. Scroll down to the bottom and you've got your Notion cheat sheet right there. Now I'm going to be using the hosting of VPS to set this up today. I'm not sponsored by these in any way, but I do find them very easy to use and their prices are super reasonable. To get to VPS, just come to services here and down the middle you've got VPS hosting and you can choose a plan. Now it goes all the way up to KVM 8 with 32 gigs of RAM, but that is major overkill for this. Claude Code will actually run fine on KVM 1 with 4 gigs of RAM, so feel free to go for the cheapest one. But if you want to build a lot of apps and give yourself a bit more headroom to have multiple apps running at the same time, then KVM 2 is your safe space. So you can just select a plan and it gets cheaper the longer you commit to. For this tutorial, I recommend you go for Debian OS. This will also work with Ubuntu. Debian I've just found to be a bit more stable. And then choose a server location which is nearby to you. For me, that is UK. And just hit continue. And once you're into the back end, it will look something like this. Once you come down the left and select VPS, and then just manage right here, and I'll take you to this page. During setup, it'll ask you to set up a root password. This is just a password needed to get into your VPS via terminal. So you'll need that. Now to start with, we simply want to get into our VPS. And you can do that by copying your root access key right here. Don't be intimidated by the terminal at all. I'm going to break this down step by step. All you're doing is copy and pasting. And you just paste that in there and press enter. Are you sure you want to continue connecting? Just type in yes, and then type in that password. So we're going to install some dependencies. Super important this part, or you're going to run into a ton of errors later on. So just paste in that next command from the Notion guide. We're going to install tmux, UFW, and unzip, all of which really important for the commands we're going to run later on. And this just means all the dependencies are set up from the get-go. And I'll do some downloading and install those. Tmux is going to help keep our VPS alive and our Claude Code session running permanently. And UFW works as a firewall. This is what's going to stop people remoting into your VPS like we're doing right now. Locks it down completely. And to do that, just type in this next command and type in Y for yes. And firewall is active and enabled on system startup. And to check that this works, you can type in UFW status. And as long as it says status active right here, you're good to go. Okay, now we've locked down our VPS. We need to get Claude Code installed. So copy that next command, paste that into here. This comes straight from the Claude Code documentation. So it's just going to run a curl command and install Claude Code there. Now, you can see the installer prints a bit of a warning at the end. The native installation exists, but local bin is not in your path. Don't worry about that. Just run this next command I've given to you in Notion, and that's going to fix that up for you. And to check, we can just type in Claude version like that, and we've got the latest version of Claude Code installed. Before we install the Telegram plugin and get it talking to you through your own Telegram bot, we're going to need to install something called Bun. Now, you don't really need to understand what this is or what it does, but basically, the Telegram plugin is written with Bun. It is a fast JavaScript runtime. Without Bun installed, Claude Code might silently fail and stop responding to you on Telegram. We don't want that. So copy this next command, paste that in there. And to verify this one, you guessed it, we can do Bun version like so. As long as you see 1 point something, you're golden. So let's get Claude Code actually running. Type in Claude. And we've launched Claude Code within the terminal. So you can just go through the onboarding. Now, here are your options. You can use your Claude subscription or you'll use a Claude API key. Highly recommend getting a Claude subscription if you don't have one. APIs are insanely expensive. They rack up really quickly. And with a subscription, you get loads more bang for your buck. So just press enter on that and it will open up your browser to sign in. If it doesn't open your browser straight away, you just need to copy this URL. And I recommend you right click and copy instead of pressing C to copy like it says here. Do yourself a favor, right click and copy. Because we are remoting into our VPS, it might not register your key press in the same way that it would if we were doing this on a terminal on your own laptop. So save yourself some time, right click and copy, paste that into your browser and you will see something like this. So you just need to authorize that and then copy this auth code and paste that back in there. Login successful, press enter to continue, and you can just press enter again. Do I trust this folder? Yes, I do. And we're in Claude Code. Hey Claude, what's the weather like today in the UK? I don't have a weather tool available and I shouldn't guess. You can check the Met Office. Okay, fair enough. But it's working, we got a response. Now, we want to come back out of Claude Code and back into our terminal. So just press Control and D twice. And once you've double tapped that, you'll be back into command line. Okay, next we're coming into Telegram. And you want to type in botfather in the search bar at the top. Difficult, I know. And then this guy's going to come up and he's going to help us set up our bot. If you just type in /help, then you can see all of the commands you've got available to you. And we're just going to type in new bot. Choose a name for your bot. Claude Assistant. Okay, now the username for this has to be something with no spaces and it has to end in bot. And it also has to be something that no one else has picked before. So make it unique. Okay, and we're done. Once we're done here, let's go ahead and copy this by clicking it. And that's going to act as your API key to allow Claude Code to remote into this. And then once that's done, just click right here and then do yourself a favor and press start. And you can even send a quick hey message right there. It's not going to do anything right now, but what it is going to do is wake up your Telegram bot so that it can be connected to. Now we're going to configure our Telegram within Claude Code. So just copy this next command and make sure you replace that little section snippet with your own Telegram bot token that we just copied. If nothing happens, then it works. So don't panic. And to double check it works, just type in cat and then the environment variable that we've just saved this to. And it's going to print out our Telegram bot token so we know 100% it is saved in the right place and Claude Code can access this. Now, this next command I put together, it's going to save you from doing a lot of back and forth with your Telegram bot. There's normally a 6-digit code involved, but we can just automatically add your Telegram user ID instead, which smooths out the process nicely. To get your Telegram user ID, in the same way that you typed in botfather in a search, you instead type in user info bot, one word, send a message to that guy, and he's going to give you that Telegram user ID. This is unique to you. You cannot show this to anybody because it's going to give them full access to your Telegram bots, and we don't want that. And then just replace and then just add the Telegram user ID to the command. And you can just paste that next command in the terminal. I'm going to skip over this bit and then reset my terminal just so I don't have to blur anything out. By the way, if you're not following along in the Notion guide, that command I just entered looks something like this. And you just replace your Telegram user ID right here. So just pause this on screen right now if you don't have that guide so that you can still follow along. And you can check it works by typing in this command right here. I'm not going to run this just so I don't show my user ID on screen. Next, we're going to use Anthropic's actual channels plugin. This is the official plugin to set up Claude Code through Telegram. So we're going to remote back into Claude. Yes, I trust this folder. And just type in /reload plugins like so. And then you can see we've got that plugin installed on our machine. And then just push Control-D twice to come back out of that and back into our command line. We're nearly there with the command. Stay with me. Now, this part is the secret to keeping Claude Code always on all the time. So paste in that next command, and that's going to create a startup script so that whenever your VPS restarts, Claude Code stops, anything of that nature, it will just automatically get things going once again. If nothing happens, that's good. We can then start a tmux session, and inside that tmux session, we can just run that script, and you should see something like this. Go through your standard setup, and you should see something like listening for channel messages from the Telegram plugin. Now, this part's important. We're not going to Control-D and Control-D again to get back into the terminal. This time we want to detach from the current tmux session by pressing Control and B, and then completely release the keyboard, and then press D. Okay, let's test this out. Hey, Claude, how are you doing today? Boom, got a response. Okay, Claude, I want you to commit this to memory. You are my chief operating officer. You are sharp. You challenge me on ideas when necessary, and your purpose is to help me grow my YouTube channel. Acknowledge this and repeat back to me. Got it, committed to memory, repeating back. I'm your chief operating officer. I'm sharp. I push back on your ideas when there's a real reason to, and my mission is to help you grow your YouTube channel. I'll back you when you're right and challenge you when you're not. Ready when you are. What's the channel about and what's the current state of play? I teach people how to set up AI agents so they can run their business while they sleep. I want you to set up a new skill that, when called, you pull the top 3 news stories from Hacker News and just give me the headline of the news story and a quick 1-sentence summary of each. Create the skill and then test it and give me the results. Top 3 on Hacker News right now: where the goblins came from, Craig Venter has passed away, and Z 1.0. Rust built, GPU rendered, code editor hit 1.0 after 5 years. Now, this next part is how we're going to completely replace OpenClaw and its cron jobs and run things on a set schedule. Hey, Claude, can you set this up to run this skill on a schedule? So every 24 hours at 9 a.m., you send the results of this skill to me in the Telegram DM chat right here. I'm going to use the /schedule command and routine created. And it's giving me a quick note about the UK clocks going back and forth because we have British summertime and everything outside of British summertime, and our clock goes forwards and backwards by 1 hour. Strange, but that's just the way we do things. You can also set up a loop, which is a bit more of a short-term schedule, essentially. So you can run any prompt on a loop continuously. Hey, Claude, can you do me a favor and run a new loop where you tell me a really cheesy dad joke every minute forever? And then just put in /loop so it definitely knows what you mean. Okay, so it's scheduled that job for us, and it actually caps at 7 days, and a loop runs only while the terminal session stays open, so bear that in mind. I told my wife she was drawing her eyebrows too high. She looked surprised. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. Yeah, cheesy, exactly what I asked for. Perfect. And if you want to stop a loop, you can just type in /loop and stop. Loop stopped, cancelled, no more dad jokes, thank you. Next thing I want to show you, probably one of the most valuable things that you can get out of this video, is the Zapier SDK. It's currently in an open beta, and it gives your AI agent hands outside of the coding environment and access to 9,000 plus of Zapier's apps, basically everything it has an integration with. So you want to come to zapier.com/SDK, and that's going to bring you here. Huge amount of integrations available here.
It is nuts. And to get started, just start building free right there. And they've even given you a nice little prompt right here to get you started. And what this will do is set up the Zapier SDK within your agent, and it will also open a login authentication within your browser, just like you would with your Claude subscription. So just paste that back in there and send her off. It's a very detailed prompt this. It's going to install things like Node.js on your system if you don't already have it, and any other dependencies that are necessary to get this working. To get this installed, you can just copy the command it gives you right here and then paste that into your terminal. And it's going to look something like this once it's all installed. Hey Claude, thanks for the command. I've just run that on my terminal, so you can proceed. Creating some files. We installed Node.js. Okay, it's creating some files. We've just installed Node.js. It's installing the Zapier SDK. Successfully installed. Pulling in a few development packages. Hey Claude, nothing open within the browser. Can you give me the URL right here so that I can authenticate manually? Before I even send that off, it's already sent it to me. Way ahead of me. So you can just tap the URL it gives you, and you can just tap Allow Zapier SDK Access. Okay, connected apps. Got my YouTube data CLI. We've got Slack on there, as well as some storage. And those are the 3 connected apps I have on Zapier right now. Bit of information about the SDK. Thanks for setting that up, Claude. Can you send me a message on Slack telling me what your favorite color is? If you don't have one, just make it up. And there it is. My favorite color is deep navy blue, the kind of blue you only see at sea right after a sunset. Sent from the Zapier SDK. So I hope you can see the major potential here. You have a fully autonomous Claude Code instance running 24/7 as your personal AI assistant with its own personality, with access to Zapier SDK, the ability to run schedules, loops, massive, massive potential. Now, the video you should watch next is going to pop up on screen right about here.